So in one of my other videos, I talk about how happiness is a mindset. In today's video, I want to talk about how happiness influences your decision-making ability. Now, what do I mean by that? So happiness in and of itself is the state of mind, a mindset where you feel appreciative, where you feel grateful, and that alleviates a lot of the mental clutter and all the things that pull us down and weigh on us throughout the day-to-day basis. Decision-making is our ability to basically analyze different choices that are given to us or presented to us throughout our lives, throughout our days. The decision to procrastinate, or the decision to go to the grocery store, or the decision to do this work today or do this work tomorrow. The decision to eat that late night snack or to not eat that late night snack. There's so many different choices that we have presented to us throughout the day, and we think it's so normal. Like, we normalize the amount of choices that our brain has to make on a daily basis. And it's really easy to get bogged down by the overwhelming abundance of decisions that need to be made, right? It's easy for some people who already have a sense of themselves to make good decisions because they know what is fulfilling and they know what is not. They know what is good for them, they know what is not, and they've conditioned their mind, they've conditioned their brain to be able to make the right quote-unquote decision in those moments, regardless of what it is. And those people end up being quote-unquote successful, happy, whatever that may be, and you can feel that from them. On the opposite end, some of us struggle with making decisions. We have regrets about decisions that we made that we really shouldn't have. We have decisions that we didn't make that we wish we did, right? These decision-making errors, quote unquote, are influenced by the state of mind we were in when we were in making that decision in that moment, right? And if you were very cluttered, if your mental space was overwhelmed, if you were cluttered, if you were feeling heavy or sad or anxious, your decision-making ability at that moment was probably very, very minimal. Like, your ability to make good decisions for yourself was probably very low. On the opposite hand, let's say you're watching this and you're feeling happy, you're feeling relieved, you're feeling light, right? Light-weighted just in your mind and on your body. If someone presented with you a decision to go, do something that you really wanted to do, and you weren't in an anxious mind, you'd probably be able to weigh out the pros and the cons of that decision and be like, oh, I'm going to go do that because I know that's going to make me happy. I know that's going to make me feel fulfilled. And all of the challenges and obstacles and logistics that I need to perform and execute in order to make that decision happen, I am confident that I can do. On the opposite hand, if you were anxious in that same decision, you'd be like, oh, I really want to, and oh, it's like an opportunity, it's a dream that I've been waiting for, but it's a lot of time, and it's a lot of energy, and it's a lot of effort, and I have a dog, and I have a partner, and I don't want to leave them, and yada 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 yada. You probably, quote unquote, fail to make that decision for yourself that would have led you to something that you felt really good about, because the anxious mind was weighing all the cons on the scale a lot heavier, right? Cons and pros. Even if objectively the pros and cons were the same, it's your mindset that really influences the way you perceive those pros and cons, right? And decision-making comes from confidence, right? Happy people tend to be confident people because they have conviction in themselves and their ability to make their own decisions and to write their own story. And thus they make decisions that further them and progress them in their personal growth journey. On the other hand, when you're feeling heavy, when you're feeling weighted, like that anxious mind analogy, it's harder and harder and harder for us to get back on our feet because the negative self-talk becomes greater. The negative self-talk becomes deeper, it becomes more intense, because the less frequency of good decisions that you're making, the less confidence and conviction you have in yourself. And so then it becomes, oh my gosh, life is out to get me. Life is so hard. Life isn't happening for me. It's their fault, or it's their fault, or it's their fault that I didn't get to do that, or that happened to me. And it's like external locus of control is what it's called in psychology, where you believe that life happens to you and you don't really take responsibility for your life and your actions. On the opposite, it's internal locus of control, and that is when you feel like your wins and your losses are yours. I guess I'll go into a quick example of that. I know I'm kind of going everywhere with this, but it might help some of you. Internal locus of control, you take responsibility. For example, let's say you're at work and you get promoted. You're like, wow, I earned this. I feel great. Yes, the work I put in is awesome. The same thing, internal locus of control, we take responsibility, but you get demoted at work or you don't get the promotion. You're like, oh, dang, that sucks, that's a bummer, but I know I kind of slacked off in the last 3 months and that's why I didn't get the promotion, but next time I'll get it. You see the vibe? On the opposite end, external locus of control, when you don't take responsibility, when you feel it's other people to blame or the life is to blame, you get promoted at work and you're like, oh, that's great, but I was just next in line. It's just because, him and her, they already got promoted and I was after them, and so I was just next in line. It's nothing. And then if you get demoted, you're like, oh my gosh, they're out to get me. Like, it was their fault. Like my group, my team didn't do this and that affected my performance and that's why I wasn't able to ... Do you feel the vibe? Internal, taking responsibility. External, relieving responsibility to everything else but yourself. So whether it's a promotion or a demotion, internal locus of control, those who have that already have an advantage in life because their mindset comes from happiness. Their mindset comes with the conviction in their ability to make good decisions. On the opposite side, those with an external locus of control who feel that life is out to get them, no matter if they get a promotion or a demotion, they still feel that feeling of like, it's whatever. So maybe that helps you guys. Maybe it doesn't. Hopefully I made that clear. But what I'm trying to say in this whole entire conversation is that happiness is a mindset. It's not a fleeting moment that you have to chase. It's a mindset that you have to master. And that comes through sharing your story, reflecting on your life, and taking ownership of all the decisions that you've made and have not made, and being okay with that, and knowing that there's always going to be growth and that you're going to be a different person tomorrow with different skill sets, maybe making better decisions then. So take ownership, reflect, and share your story, whether that's through writing or through speaking. And I hope that you can find that little bit of mindset mastery in your own happiness and in your own decision making over the next near future. I really do. And like usual, if you like this vibe, I try to share this vibe in person, one-on-one, and in group calls in the online community I have called the Professional Homies. It's a community dedicated to men's mental health and self-discovery. So if you or a homie are looking for a safe space to share their story and find support in other brothers, that's the spot. Click the link in the description below. And until next time, peace.